Alrighty, everyone. Welcome back to the third Phillies United podcast. I'm your host, Ethan Rauch here, owner of the Phillies United Instagram account. Today I have a guest here, one of my friends from real life, from school, Ben here. Hey, Ben.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about, we have a topic for today's podcast, a little different from the previous ones. It's going to be about the rotation, the pitching situation, and the bullpen, and some free agents or people we could trade for during this long off season. But before we get into that, I have some ideas or topics about what has happened since the last podcast. At this point in time, it's been about over a week since the last one, so quite some things have happened since. Just to name off a few, of course, not really baseball related, but Gabe Kapler's house burned down to the California wildfires. Such a tragedy, and I know a bunch of people dislike him, but you can't. He's a manager of our team. You gotta just respect him. You just gotta see at the hard time he's going through right now. You just gotta acknowledge that. Phillies, well, they're still kind of prominent right now, but shopping Carlos Santana. There's still rumors about that. Potential targets, Twins maybe, Astros, just some teams I've heard in that department. Chris Young, new pitching coach. Aaron Nola placed third in the Cy Young vote. Justin Bour placed on non-revocable waivers, so he's most likely not going to come back. 40-man roster added. Edgar Garcia, Adonis Medina, Archimedes, Gamboa added, so they can all be protected from the Rule 5 draft. And, of course, Phillies continue to be linked to mostly all free agents in this offseason, like prominently Bryce Harper, Manny Machado, which I've already talked about. But, again, the main topic for this episode is going to be about the pitching situation we have. Now, Ben, what do you think about the current pitching situation we have without, if we were to start the year off without signing anyone, how would you feel about it?
I think with the rotation that it's not strong enough to contend in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
No ace. We have Arrieta, who does have playoff experience, but is a little iffy this season. And
Yeah.
Velasquez and Eflin, you can't really trust either of them. They're all up and down so much throughout the season.
Yeah, and plus they're all so young. Pivetta, Eflin just started their careers.
You need to have somebody that has had some playoff experience or that has pitched for multiple years in the league that knows how to deal with pressure and can stay consistent.
Yeah, I agree completely. Now, the first thing I wanted to address, in my opinion, one of the current pitchers in the rotation needs to go to the bullpen. And
I agree.
I think the one most suitable is Vince Velasquez.
I agree too.
I've thought about Nick Pivetta, but he's like that type of pitcher you see, you just can't imagine him in a bullpen role. He just seems like a starter. That's how I view it. But Vince, he has experience in the bullpen, and he had a hard time going long, being really going
99.
Yeah, he can throw. You see, he was starting to, his velocity was going down at the end of the year. Same thing with all these guys because of the exhaustion. If you put him in the bullpen and only have him pitch every other day or whatever, he can throw hard. He's gonna be able to throw hard. He's gonna be able to pound strikes. But we all saw at the end of the year, he had trouble going 5 innings, 6 innings. You can't have that now. So you think the same about Vince too?
I do agree with Velasquez that he does have experience, throws the ball hard, and I think that Eichhoff coming back kind of will insert his way into the rotation.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Velasquez is the guy that's on the brick.
Yeah. Now, this is I've talked with a few people about this, but my humble opinion, I think we do need to somehow, some way, start the year off with a lefty in the rotation.
I agree.
I think that needs to be done.
If you look at the free agents, there's not a lot of strong left-handed pitchers.
Yeah.
But I think they're not going to target a lefty this year. And next season, when you have stronger pitchers like Chris Sale, who's probably not coming to Philadelphia, but there are some strong lefties that you can target next year.
Yeah. Now, just if we were to target one, just a few options. I recently made a post on my account. This Japanese pitcher Yusei Kikuchi, I've personally had my eye on his rumors and stuff. We've been linked to him. I'd be fine with that. Patrick Corbin, of course, but
I
he's
don't. I think
gonna. Yeah, he's openly said he's a Yankees fan. He grew up there. They need a lefty, another pitcher, and J Happ, which
did just sign James
oh
Paxton.
yeah, they have one more option left for the rotation. They only have 4 set in stone pitchers, so I can see them signing Patrick Corbin still.
CC,
Yeah,
who they re-signed, who's definitely going to stay in the rotation.
yeah, and of course the former Philly J Happ could be an option. Veteran presence, that would be great.
Yeah.
Now, the one option people have kind of forgot about, Cole Irvin from AAA.
And he won. Didn't he win Player this season?
Yeah, he won it's not called the Cy Young down there, but he basically won the Cy Young in AAA. And of course, Ranger Suarez, which I hope he doesn't start out, but you never know. He's an option if you need. Now,
and that's pretty much it when you get to lefties.
Yeah. And now, if you had to pick one of just the few I listed, who would you personally want?
I don't think you target a lefty free agent this year.
Well, if you had to. Yeah. J Happ, yeah.
Best chance. He is old, but knowing the Philadelphia organization, knowing the fan base, getting through the team, I think that he would be the easiest to target.
Yeah, of course. Now, I made a hopeful, in my opinion, opening day rotation that I hope it's around something like this. My ideal, in my opinion. Of course, you have Nola leading off in the 1 spot, Arrieta number 2, then 3, just a free agent acquisition of any sorts, Corbin, lefty, or maybe someone you trade for. You never know. And then you have Nick Pivetta, Zach Eflin just trading off in that 4 to 5 role.
Now, regarding free agents, I have 2 free agents that I would be ecstatic if the Phillies got.
Yeah, who are they?
Is Garrett Richards. He was a pitcher on the Angels. Didn't hurt a lot.
Yeah.
But he's a great pitcher when he can stay healthy. And you saw he could have beat innings towards the end of last season.
Yeah. You would probably sign him to a 1-year or 2-year deal.
Yeah. So there's one. And the second is Matt Harvey.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Matt was great and then kind of fell off a little bit, and they traded him to Cincinnati and kind of his way back into his groove. Didn't have a great season. I mean, it's hard to pitch in the Reds Park, so Harvey would come to Philadelphia. He can insert himself into the 4th spot, and great action presence could eat up some innings for us.
Yeah, of course. That would be great. It's great acquisition, great veteran presence. I feel like he could do well here in this ballpark. Now, moving more towards the bullpen now, of course, as we both said, Vince Velasquez, we feel he could do better in the bullpen role. Yeah. And, again, I think we do need a certified left-handed pitcher in the bullpen.
So that Kepler knew that, and he was trying to trade for lefties like Loop and Avalon, but just because they're lefty doesn't mean they're going to pitch good.
Yeah, because, the only options you had at lefty, Austin Davis, a rookie, Adam Morgan, you don't trust him. And Luis Avalon, at least, he's a veteran. You can kind of put that trust, but he's not really that power lefty you need in the bullpen.
And I don't think that anyone in the Phillies bullpen is safe except Serenity Dominguez.
Yeah. Now, some free agents I hope we target. I'd personally love if we got someone like Zach Britton or Andrew Miller. Lefties with closing experience. Because you can't, seeing Sir Anthony last year, he's still very young, so I wouldn't have him just be the set closer, put him in whenever you need someone to close. I want someone with experience that's not Hector Neris, or, for example, someone like Zach Britton would work great, who can work in that closing role and be a setup man if you need to.
And it's just he has a big injury history, and he's been hurt a lot.
Yeah. Maybe Craig Kimbrell, but he's going to be costly, so I don't see that happening.
I don't see that happening either. I have one. He's a righty, Cody Allen.
Oh, yeah.
On Cleveland for pretty much his whole career. But if you look at Cleveland's bullpen, it's kind of there's a lot of competition in there between Brad Hand and Miller and Allen. And I don't know if Allen wants to continue being that 8th inning guy that doesn't get paid.
Yeah.
But you know you're going to be the closer. You know you're coming in every game that we're winning, and we'll give you the money to come.
Yeah.
I think very probable.
Yeah. And there's actually been a name recently and some rumors that we've kind of been linked to. The Seattle Mariners closer, Edwin Diaz. But
Yeah,
that would be costly. That would be really costly.
but I mean, led the league in saves last year. You know he's coming. He's got a nasty changeup.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's a lock for a clean ninth.
Yeah. That'd be great, but like you'd have to give up multiple prospects and maybe a major league ready talent.
Yeah.
So you got to think about long term regarding that. Now, I made just like my rotation, my ideal rotation, I made like an optimistic bullpen that I personally hope we start the season off. And this is taking into account that we don't trade Pat Neshek or Tommy Hunter this offseason because there's been rumors that we're kind of looking to shop them. But I think it could happen, but I see it unlikely that a team's willing to take on like those contracts with those players.
I fully agree.
Yeah, so like of course the closer would be that free agent acquisition, whether it's Zach Britton, Andrew Miller, or you trade for someone like Edwin Diaz, that would be or Cody Allen, as you said, that would be the free agent acquisition setup man. I would have Sir Anthony Dominguez and Hector Neris, both who have closing experience and can close, like because we know Kapler works with the matchup. So if like Hector Neris has great stats against these three guys, he could close that night, for example, like that.
Talking about Hector Neris, I was very, very, very surprised to see the way he
Yeah.
back from AAA. I mean, his ERA still was
Yeah,
awful.
it was great. It was great just to see him come back like that. Like
Every time, it was very.
yeah. I think the problem with him is he was kind of just overwhelmed in that closer role. I think he was able to go back down to AAA, work some things out. Like I heard he was tipping his pitches a little bit, but he was able to work through those things in AAA, come back and be dominant. He won like the NL Reliever of the Month in August, which was great for us.
I totally agree with.
Yeah,
Neris.
and then the bullpen guys I have below Neris, Sir Anthony, and the free agent acquisition. Victor Arano, who was great for us last year. I really hope we keep him. Luis Avalon, who is still under contract and is a lefty.
Exactly.
Who's much better than Adam Morgan or Austin Davis, the very young Austin Davis.
They're gonna keep Adam Morgan.
I really hope he doesn't start on the opening day, but you never know. He most likely is if we don't get anyone big.
They're gonna keep Morgan over Davis.
Yeah. And then under that, of course, I said this is going under the assumption that we don't trade Pat Neshek or Tommy Hunter, so they'll of course be in there. And then I have one long reliever, which is it really just depends on who's in the rotation. Because like Jared Eichhoff, if he's not in the rotation, I would have him be the long man in the bullpen.
I agree. Now, what about Edelbry Ramos?
I was kind of like I was looking at the 40-man roster and just looking at stats, and it's really because like you can only have so many people in the bullpen to start off with a 25-man, so it can be really conflicting because like we actually, for the first time in like a while, we actually have many options and many great pitchers to put in that bullpen, but we only have so many limited spots. So like someone's gonna have to be the odd man left out.
I have one more free agent that I think would be considered Brad Brock from.
Oh yeah.
He used to play for the Orioles, and he got traded to Atlanta. But also, like Atlanta, there's so many pitchers in that bullpen.
Oh yeah,
it's like once a week.
Yeah, Atlanta definitely needs pitching help this year.
And then I have more. He's a lefty. He's old. Sergio Romo.
Who?
Sergio Romo.
Sergio Romo?
Yeah, he closed 20-something saves for the Rays this season. Had a good year. I mean, he postseason experience with the Giants, and he's been there like 4 times. So doesn't have to be the closer, but he's going to eat you an inning. He's a lefty. He's a sidearm lefty. And, I mean, you can throw off these guys. And, Kepler likes to bring in pitchers for one batter. He's one of those guys you can bring in. He's going to get that one out just the way he throws the ball.
Yeah, and plus, like, some teams have been using a new tactic this year called the opener, which I know you've probably heard of, where a bullpen guy starts the game off because of stats, like pitchers have a hard time facing these guys for the third time around, so they want to start a bullpen guy, then throw the starting pitcher in, it worked very well for the Rays, and Sergio Romo was a part of that.
Very well for the Athletics.
Yeah.
You saw that in the postseason game against the Yankees.
That's the thing, because like it can either do really well or just backfire just like that. So you gotta be wary. But I feel like that's something I could see Kapler doing that for sure. Now, that's about all I have for right now. Is there anything you want to talk about real quick about the pitching?
A I have a couple of like trade options.
All right.
I think that a pitcher like Sonny Gray could
Oh yeah,
possibly.
definitely yes.
You
He's
know, the
gonna.
Yankees.
Yeah,
The Yankees
they want him
rotate
gone. They
just
want.
so filled, and they do want him gone. And I think that Gray could definitely come in as a third pitcher or fourth pitcher, and really, he does have postseason experience. He's a great pitcher. He's
Yeah,
just kind of lost his mojo.
they're not gonna want much for him either because they want him out of there.
They do want him out of there.
See, I could see
So
that happening.
I
Have
would
him
love that.
slide into like the third or fourth slot in the rotation behind Arrieta Nola.
Yeah.
See, there's many options. So I'm personally expecting the Phillies to go big this year, sign a big reliever and a big pitcher. That's my expectations with all this talk about how much we're gonna spend. Now I made like a little off-season wish list, but it's just it's only for right now. It's just three roles. It's either the first one's Bryce Harper or Manny, of course, and the second one pitchers in a rotation, and the third is in bullpen. But that wasn't really thought through. It was just the basic. I thought about it like last week or something like that. So
I have one more thing to add about your Carlos Santana thing you were talking about in the beginning.
yeah.
I read an article this morning that the Minnesota Twins are very interested in CJ Cron. He's a
Oh yeah.
from the Rays, and that their interest with Santana is starting to like.
Yeah. Of course, because that big contract. Like if even if the Phillies want to trade Santana, they're gonna have to take on most of that contract. Now, I'm surprised the Rays like designated someone like C.J. Cron. Now that really surprised me.
They have such a young team. I think they want to keep that young core that they
Yeah,
have. Like Joey Wendell, who's a really young first baseman that
yeah,
hit 20 homers for them this season. So
yeah. They're gonna be well sad for them because like they won 90 games last year, didn't even come close to winning the division.
that division, it's not fair.
Yeah, it's insane. Like if they were like in the AL Central, they would have won that AL. Like speaking of the AL Central, that's gonna be really rough.
That is going to be rough. That division is just.
uh, Legit, like the White Sox. Like I've heard rumors about the White Sox wanting like Bryce or Manny or both. Like if they get like one of them by, who knows how,
They're going to trade a break.
they could win that division. Like really, anything can happen. Like Cleveland's like rumored to like trade some like their big pitchers. Uh,
Trevor Bauer. If we could
I
somehow.
would, yeah, I would love that. Like
That'd
MLB.com made a crazy like one of those three-way team trades between like us, the Mariners, and the Indians, and like it was crazy. Like it had us giving like 6 out of like our top 10 prospects, and only getting like Corey Kluber and like Jan Gomes. And like
Yeah.
it was crazy. Like you're not gonna
No. I
like
mean, you got Jorge. You don't need Jan Gomes.
yeah, you got Jorge, and like you can't give up like someone like Sixto Sanchez. Like the only person I'm fine with giving up Sixto Sanchez for is Mike Trout, honestly.
About Thomas Esselman. They did not declare him on the 40-man roster,
Yeah, he's he's he's
which
gonna be
means
picked up by another team.
yeah.
Well, again, like we just have so many
Young pitchers.
young pitchers, great pitchers with great futures, but so many not so many available roles or stuff like that. So someone's got to be left out, and just what happens. Hopefully, he gets an opportunity on another big league
What
team.
What about De Los Santos? Anyo De Los Santos. He got a couple starts for us towards the end of the
Yeah,
season last
I
year.
I don't think he's gonna start out the season with us, but I do think he's gonna be up here at least some point before like June or something.
And Jake Thompson, who you saw in the long reliever role last season, Drew Hutchinson, who you saw in the long reliever role last season. All those people. I mean, that spot is not a lock.
Yeah, I do think he's proved himself enough last year to be at least to start out in the rotation. I'm high on him. Like I think he's got a great future, but again, if he struggles, considering like how people are going to expect us to contend next year if we sign someone like Bryce Harper or Manny Machado, which we should sign one of them. You got to just work with your options. You just got to put the best man in there, let the best man roll.
I know you talked about Harper a lot in your other podcasts,
Yeah.
but I think if Harper comes to Philadelphia, then it's pretty much a lock that Santana's gone.
Yeah.
Because I think that if you got Harper,
Or you
got him with Reese to first, and
well,
I mean,
they did a little experiment with Santana at third, and I think Franco's more likely to be gone than Santana. So although crazy, I can see Santana being like the opening day third baseman. Like it could happen.
could happen. And I think that Roman Quinn fought for his life last season.
Yeah, I'm a great supporter of Roman Quinn. I think he should be on like the roster 25 man to start off the year, but like he's of course he's really injury prone, but like he can be like one of those guys you just put in late innings to steal a base for you or for defensive, because I know when Odubel's cold, he's cold defensively and offensively. So
Yep.
all right, that's about it for the third podcast. We're 20 minutes in, just as I estimated beforehand. Well, it was great talking to you, Ben. Hopefully we can do this again sometime.
Like as soon as like I'm all about baseball. So
Yeah,
I'm ready.
yeah. It was just great to be able to talk about the rotation again. So many bright pitchers, so like many of these like young guys, some of them are bound to just work out, Like we just got so many of them. And I do feel like if people like Pavetta, Eflin, and Arrieta bounce back from last year, we can really be a contender for the National League East.
Yeah, I mean,
like the one thing the Braves have problems with is their rotation. Well, they're gonna address that, but I do feel like even if they do like get one or two big guys, we're gonna still have the better rotation at the end day because we got a freaking Cy Young hopefully next year in Aaron Nola.
and his former Cy Young. And
Yeah, Arrieta. So, all right. That's about it, folks. Thank you all for listening in on YouTube, on the Phillies United YouTube page. And thank you all for following me on Instagram at Phillies United. I'm going to be keeping up with the latest free agent rumors, the big rumors. I don't like to post about the little ones because that'd be really useless because, like, they're so little. And I'd like to keep up with the big ones. So, once again, thank you all for watching. Thank you, Ben, for joining me here to talk about the rotation. Hopefully we'll do this again soon. And now as for like podcast scheduling, I want to try to get one once a week, but like it all depends on like the news and stuff coming out and like the topics I'm able to talk about and all that stuff. So it can vary, but hopefully at least once a week. So once again, thank you all for listening and thank you all for following once again. I really appreciate all the support. I love talking about the Phillies with all of you, and I hope you all had a good holiday. And that's about it. So thank you all for listening. I'll see you all later.